Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're diving into a life that literally reads like a powerful page-turning storybook. We're looking at the deeply personal yet incredibly structured journey of Minister Twanna Y'vette Ray. We're going to see how she took chapters filled with absolutely severe physical and emotional storms and somehow transformed them into triumphs for her digital ministry. It's just a fascinating look at how you can take a raw personal narrative, use it to build a massive online community, and turn sheer survival into a roadmap for others. Let's get right into it.
I should have died multiple times, but I didn't. Wow, right? Now, this isn't just some dramatic hook to get you watching. This is the raw, unvarnished reality of Minister Ray's 55 years survival story. It's the absolute foundation for her entire message. She's inviting us to look at a life that has constantly, almost impossibly, defied the odds. By stating so plainly that she shouldn't even be here to tell the tale, she instantly grabs your attention. It just establishes this incredible baseline of authenticity that carries through literally everything she does.
Chapter 1. The Early Foundations. So, walking through her early years, we see she faced a massive hurdle right out of the gate. Born in 1971, she battled an active sickle cell trait, way before doctors even fully understood how to effectively treat it. I mean, she was facing near-death experiences simply because medical science hadn't quite caught up yet. But, at the exact same time, she was pushing forward. She secured her foundational education down in Alabama, eventually earned her GED in 1996, and even entered the workforce with her very first job at Dairy Queen. It really establishes a classic foundation of pure grit. She was determined to live a normal life, despite some wildly abnormal challenges. Chapter 2. Evolution to Content Creator. Over the next 30 years or so, she experiences this massive professional growth, and she didn't just pick one lane and stay there either. Back in 1991, she earned her cosmetology license, picking up excellence awards along the way. And alongside that, she was a dedicated church musician for over 3 decades. But here's what's really interesting. Notice how she adapts and scales her skill set. By 2005, she gets her minister's license. By 2007, she becomes an early adopter on YouTube, which is huge. And then in 2009, she earns a doctorate of Christian counseling. She seamlessly transitioned from a licensed beauty expert and local business presence to a fully fledged digital media creator and counselor. Chapter 3. A Messy Mediculture. You are not a mess. You are a miracle with a messy medical chart. This is brilliant. Her whole content strategy really relies on this complete perspective shift. She isn't inviting her audience to throw a pity party for her physical defeats. Actually, scratch that. She uses this specific framing to help others reframe their own struggles. By taking this long list of medical liabilities and turning them into credentials of endurance, she creates a safe space. A space where her followers can look at their own difficult histories, not as heavy baggage, but as actual proof of their own resilience. And honestly, the actual list of storms she survived is staggering. She manages sickle cell disease, stage 1 kidney disease, fibromyalgia, and severe migraines. And then, on top of that physical toll, she survived domestic violence, profound trauma, and the heartbreaking loss of her youngest daughter. But in her content, she delivers this list with the energy of an absolute victor. She completely neutralizes the pity. Instead, she uses these immense medical and personal traumas to emphasize her theme of 55 years of keeping power, all while encouraging you to find that exact same power in your own life. Chapter 4. The Scriptural Receipts. Now, in today's digital culture, we all know people demand receipts, right? They want the authoritative proof to back up your claims. But in Minister Ray's specific digital ministry, a receipt isn't a bank statement and it's not a typical medical chart. For her, the ultimate receipt is her lived experience validated directly by Scripture. It gives her narrative this incredibly authoritative backbone. It allows her to present her survival not just as a feel-good, inspiring story, but as documented evidence of her faith in action. She maps this out so clearly for her audience, using Psalm 103 as her primary receipt. So when the text says, "heals all your diseases," she points directly to her surviving sickle cell and kidney issues. When it says redeems your life from destruction, she correlates that right to surviving car accidents and domestic violence. And when it promises to satisfy your mouth with good things, she connects that to her active daily choice of practicing gratitude over bitterness. It's like a puzzle fitting perfectly together. Every single line translates to a specific traumatic event she's overcome, building a direct bridge between an ancient text and her modern lived reality. The culmination of all this mapping leads to her core brand statement, "God did it." Her ultimate message isn't just about human endurance or having good genetics or just gritting your teeth and being strong. In her framework, the credit is entirely focused on divine preservation. Her message boils down to those three simple words, acting as the ultimate thesis statement for her 55 years of keeping power. It anchors absolutely everything she creates and shares with our community. Chapter 5: Ministry Through Digital Architecture. As you'll see, her exact media blueprint is incredibly efficient, heavily leveraging that extensive professional background we talked about earlier. She uses a very structured, step-by-step digital architecture to share these receipts with the world. Step 1 starts with her audio podcast, Daily Pulse, where she drops raw, unscripted thoughts. Step 2, she transforms that audio into written blogs for her TYR Academy. Step 3 involves filming longer, 15-minute deep dives for YouTube. And finally, Step 4 cuts those larger pieces into highly engaging, punchy 60-second social media clips for platforms like Instagram and TikTok. It's a seamless content funnel, clearly built by an experienced media architect. This brilliant strategy allows her to constantly challenge competing narratives. When the secular world looks at her 55 years of survival and says, "Oh, you're just lucky," or "You survived by chance," she uses her digital platforms to present the receipt. She totally counters that view of luck with scriptural authority, quoting Lamentations to argue that it is actually fresh mercies keeping her alive. It's a highly, highly effective way to keep her audience grounded in her specific message and framework, day in and day out. Which brings us to the end of our explainer. Minister Ray's content strategy consistently ends by turning the focus back onto the audience. She moves from her story straight to yours. So, taking a page directly from her influencer guide, I want to leave you with the very same provocative question she asks her viewers. When you look back at your own timeline and you think about the storms you've personally survived, what has God kept you from? Take a moment to really reflect on the receipts in your own life. Thanks so much for learning with us today.